I was just a miner when I first started playing this game, but I've always wondered if you could survive or even beat Minecraft without ever leaving a cave, but that would require surviving with no food, no friendly mobs, and no light. How am I going to do that, especially given that I only allowed myself to use one item from a bonus chest? Well, I've decided to find out, because my first day's plan was just to break blocks of my fist, but I worked out that at 2,000 blocks away to the nearest mineshaft, this would take 8.5 hours, and so instead I needed to switch my plan to get a pickaxe, and I moved on to this witch, because she drops sticks when she dies, which is really easy if you can kill her, but you can't because she's an absolute bitch. Seriously, there is a real pain involved in actually killing one of these, and so after dying a lot of times, I realized that food would actually help me soak up some of that damage, but more crucially, using other mobs as a shield would be even better. Eventually, I could get one of the skeletons to start to hurt her, and after 5 full days of trying, I eventually had a skeleton finish her off. Now I have the 2 most critical ingredients for a pickaxe, but how am I going to get the other 3? Because I can't exactly mine some stone using a pickaxe because, well, you see the problem here. And so my plan was to get a creeper to explode, but if I was going to get a creeper to explode stone anyway, I might as well go risky and get them near some diamonds. And although this means a lot of the time you get nothing, sometimes you get diamonds just like I did. And I then used this to make a diamond pickaxe, which I could use to mine to a mine shaft. And although I spent many days trying, it's worth mentioning that it was actually 2,000 blocks away, and my pickaxe only mines 1,562. So I needed to use this pickaxe to make myself another one, and after that I got myself to the place with wood. This temporarily solves most of my problems because it gives me wood, I can smelt that for charcoal, but I can also find some food and some melon seeds in these chests, and so I decide to use this extra bit of food to help me find a lush cave, and that provides me with an azalea, which usually is useless, but in this case it means I can make a composter, use the moss around it to turn it into bone meal, and then grow my own wood. Azalea trees don't drop apples though, and I need food, so what's the plan? Well, they do grow this weird rooted dirt underneath them, which you can hoe to remove the roots. Then we can take that dirt and combine it with gravel to make coarse dirt, and then when we hoe that, we can put our melon seeds from the mineshaft in, and boom, renewable food and wood. We have just one basic need left to fulfill, and it's for a bed, but there's no sheep or other friendly mobs down here, so what are we going to do? Well, we can craft string from spiders, use a little bit of dye, because no peasant beds for me, and that allows us to have this delightful blue bed. Anyway, I now have the ability to sleep, eat, and plant, but what if I want to go further and actually enchant? Well, there's no leather down here for a book, but what I decided to do instead was go fishing for many days, got myself a great supply of extra food, but also got myself this enchanted book, which I immediately disenchanted, allowing me to get great diamond armor, which I then used to actually survive for a full 100 days. You can click here if you want to see the full journey,